Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from gorgeous, sunshiny San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker
in the world.
In the world. Thank you, Josh. Didn't expect that. That was awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, how to enjoy your family during Thanksgiving week. I bring this discussion up because this tends to be a time of the year that begins repeated patterns. It begins repeated patterns that may or may not be something that is a positive experience for you in particular. So my desire today is to give you a couple of brain-changing exercises so that you may enjoy your family to the fullest extent, regardless of what has happened in the past. So let's begin with this narrative. Primarily, the issues that arise during this time of the year are issues that are connected to what we are calling in psychology frozen perceptions. Frozen perceptions. Frozen perceptions are ideas that you have created in your own mind that are reinforced by the continual stories you tell yourself about particular people in your family and experiences you've had in the past. Let me say that one more time. Frozen perceptions are stories you have told yourself that you have stopped questioning. They are just tapes that play over and over in your mind about certain people in your family and how they are and what they're like and how they always do this and they never do that. These are frozen perceptions that bind people in relationships from the liberty to see or experience someone's particular growth or maturity, because you get caught in what is called a frozen perception. And these frozen perceptions are subconscious. You're not even thinking about these frozen perceptions when you have these experiences with family members. So my desire is that you would have an extremely liberating Thanksgiving week this week, and a Thanksgiving if you're going to be around family. So the first brain-changing tool I would like to impart to you today is to recognize and be conscious of the stories you will begin to tell yourself about the particular family members that you are going to be coming in contact with, and check yourself before you wreck yourself. See if you need a checkup from the neck up, as Zig Ziglar would say, and if you've got an extreme case of stinking thinking, where you think about them in a way that you've always thought about them without having grace for how they or you may have matured or grown since you've seen them last. So a frozen perception would say, well, when Uncle Johnny comes over, you know Uncle Johnny's going to ruin everything for everybody because he's going to get drunk. And that's the story that plays over in your head. What if Uncle Johnny doesn't do that? What if things change? What if you change? What if things are different? What if you're different? So my first point in this is check yourself. Have a conversation with yourself. Be aware if you are having a conversation telling yourself a story about the people you are going to be coming in contact with during Thanksgiving. Second brain-changing tactic. Brain-changing tactic number 2. Check yourself. Become aware. Social intelligence is self-awareness, where you become aware what is the story you are telling yourself that begins subconsciously, but you have emotional agreement with it because it's so tried and true, because you haven't questioned it or replaced it or challenged it in years. What is the story you're telling yourself about Thanksgiving coming up, about the holidays coming up? Here are some trigger indicators that you're in for a bad time. Oh my God, I hate this time of the year, and all this stuff that's going to go down. And I remember in the past, and I got so much to do, and there's so many things, and I don't have enough time, and I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to be under pressure. You are writing the book. You are writing the chapter in the book of your life, basically speaking into existence what's going to show up, because you're already declaring it through being in agreement with experiences in the past in that area. My challenge to you is tell yourself a different story. Tell yourself a different story. Do you realize that you can tell yourself a different story. You can set a new expectation. There's a phenomenal verse in the Bible I was talking to Joshua about where it says, let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich. And Joshua says, well, Dad, isn't that lying? I said, that's a really great question, Joshua. It's not, because God is saying you have the power to speak what you intend to show up in your life. You don't have to decree and declare what your current state is. You can speak it into existence. You've heard of self-fulfilling prophecy. The story you tell yourself about your Thanksgiving week and Thanksgiving Day experience coming up will likely be the story that's played out. So that's number 2. You have the opportunity and the freedom and the liberty and the responsibility, I would say, for you to decide which story you're going to tell yourself about it. What if you said something like this? I'm going to have the best Thanksgiving week ever. I am going to be so blessed. I'm going to be so focused on the things I'm thankful for. I'm going to be completely focused on the stuff that I am grateful for. I am going to look through the lenses of love at every member in my family this Thanksgiving. I'm not going to look through the lenses of judgment. I'm going to look through the lenses of love. I'm going to love on these folks. You know why? Because I like for folks to love on me, especially when I mess up, and I've messed up. So I'm just going to be very intentional. I am going to be a thermostat this Thanksgiving. I'm not going to be a thermometer. I'm actually going to set the tone in the environment and the atmosphere in my home rather than react and respond to it the way a thermometer reacts and responds. I'm going to be the thermostat. I'm going to be a thermostat, oh love. The thermostat, oh love. I am just going to love on people unconditionally, bless them, be good to them, serve them, and I'm going to be about making their Thanksgiving better. I'm going to offer Uncle Johnny a glass of coffee, a cup of coffee before he can grab the Jack Daniels. I'm going to ask little Aunt Susie over there if I can, carve the turkey up for her. I'm going to go ask Grandma over here if I can give her another serving of cranberries. I'm going to show up as a servant, and I'm going to be static in my operation as a thermostat and not a thermometer, because I intend to have the best Thanksgiving ever. That's a new story you can tell yourself. That's the new story you can tell yourself. The story you tell yourself about the people you're going to come in contact with will set your heart up for how you're going to show up towards them. Joshua, don't be crushing your brother's legs. Move that thing forward, buddy. Come on, man. Look at these. I got 2 little boys with me on the way to church. The older ones are a little doing their thing. So, listen, folks. The story you tell yourself about the people you're going to become in contact with will determine how you show up. You will set an expectation in your spirit to be on guard or to be on expectation, then they're typically negative expectations. Number 2, the story you tell yourself about Thanksgiving week can be changed. You can choose to change the story. You have the power to show up. If you are a thermometer, let me do something for you. Did anybody used to watch I Dream of Jeannie? I'm going to help you. I'm going to turn you from a thermometer into a thermostat. Y'all ready? You got it. You got it. Just through Facebook world, boom, you got it. So now you can be a thermostat. Now you have the power to decide what story you're going to tell yourself and how you're going to position yourself to set yourself up. When you're worried about you and thinking about you, it's always going to get weird. When you focus on the other people that you're going to be around and you make a decision that you're going to show up with a servant's heart to serve, to bless, to give, ain't nobody can take that away from you. That is you. You're going to set yourself up to be able to do what you need to do so that you are the thermostat and not the thermometer. So number 1, check up from the neck up. See if you have an advanced case of stinking thinking when it comes towards the way you have frozen perceptions about people in your family that you're becoming in contact with. And I challenge you to ask yourself a different question. What if Uncle Johnny changed? What if Aunt Susie changed? What if things are a little bit different? What if I'm different? I can show up different and maybe it'll affect how they are. I'm going to have a good time no matter what. I'm going to love them no matter what. I'm going to bless them no matter what. I am going to have a great time no matter what, because I am in control of my emotions. You made me mad. No, she did not make you mad, little sugar pie honey plum. You made a decision to allow your emotions to be overcome in a reactionary mode because of something outside of your control. That makes you a victim. You don't want to be a victim. You want to be a victor. You want to be victorious. You do not want to give your power of your peace away to anybody who can take it from you. And you can't do that. That's your decision. You get to choose whether or not you're going to walk in joy or whether you're going to walk in misery. So when you feel the negative trigger this week coming up, thinking about a family member, thinking about a past experience, anticipating what could go weird at Thanksgiving. Let that trigger be the catalyst for you to say, no, 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 no. I have the power to speak something different. I have the power to be different. I have the power to show up. I'm going to tell myself a different story. Tell yourself a different story about the people you're going to come in contact with and your experience coming up this week, and see how wonderful, beautiful, and amazing your Thanksgiving can be, because you know what? Because you decided it would be so. Have a great Sunday, guys.